So the first thing we're going to do is make a soup. Basically, all you're going to do is do exactly what I tell you. So we're going to start with a soup that's really simple. We're going to put our heat on, move the pan to the side. We're going to start with garlic. It's already peeled. Garlic. This is a clove of garlic, okay? With a knife, one garlic clove at a time. You know, I've got 3 over here, I've got 1 here. I put the knife flat, and the heel of my other hand just like that. And do that with all your garlic. Now remember, when you do this, the harder you hit, the better the garlic looks. Now, if I'm a technical guy like me, I'm going to hit and pull at the same time. Because it breaks down the garlic, it breaks down, you won't have to do the next piece, which is chopping. And then you're just going to chop it a little bit to make it a little bit finer. Okay, heat on the pan. We're going to take our knife, and this is a sausage. With a knife, literally, I'm just going to score the skin and remove the skin from the outside of the sausage. And we should be left with the skin. That can go straight into the pan. And then the garlic. So the sausage and garlic goes into the pan. Notice I did not put any oil in the pan because the fat of the sausage is going to give me enough. Then we're going to take the kale, and here's the fun part. Watch. Just going to pull the kale off the stalk. These are no good at all. Not even for stock, they're not good because they're bitter. So you're just going to stir the quinoa into the sausage now. All right, so you got 2 choices. You can either pull the kale or you can put it in a bunch and you can chop the kale just in the small pieces. Remember, it's a soup and you don't want big lumps of kale. When you've done that, turn your heat back on. Remove the kale into the pan and make sure you stir. At the same time, stock goes in. Put your kale in and then put stock into it. So what we're doing now, we have to make sure that it doesn't get too hot. So we have to turn down the heat. What we're trying to do, put your hands together like this. It's called blooming. It's like a delicate flower, but that's what it is. So the quinoa has to open. Heat allows it to open and flower, just like any other grain. And as it does, as it opens, it will absorb the liquid in your pan. If it starts to get fluffy and all the liquid's gone, what do? Panic? No, we take water and we add more water so it blooms more. We are creating a soup. It's okay to add water or chicken stock or beef stock or vegetable stock, depending on what you like. I'm not adding any salt here. So as that's doing its thing, if it gets too hot, turn it down a little bit more. Okay, I just want it to simmer. Then we're going to take our onion. Here's the fun part. Robert is going to show you how to create an amazing salsa using fresh ingredients. Why do we use fresh ingredients? Because it tastes so much better. Okay. We have 1 onion. Don't worry about the skin. Don't worry about the skin. 1 onion. 1 knife. 10 fingers. I want you to take the knife, cut the onion lengthways in half. We end up like this. We start with a flat surface. So the onion is round, it won't roll. And make sure that I've peeled as much as I can to get to a good, clean onion, right? This is a clean onion, this is the dirty onion. This is the dirty because it's not peeled. I take my knife, I go 3/4 of the way through. So I've got fingers. I don't go this way because it's going to fall apart, isn't it? Lengthways. Now here's the interesting part. This is where we see how good you are. You're going to have to be very careful. Hand on. I start this way, and I'm going to literally go 3/4 of the way the other way. Right? 3/4 of the way through. Onions have to be even-sized diced. That is the way you dice an onion correctly. That's how it's done. Now, I only need you to do half the onion. Make sure you're stirring your soup in a minute, and you'll start to see the quinoa boiling to the top. It will start to open up shortly. We are now going to take our tomato, and we're going to do something really cool here. When we cook, the cooking is not only supposed to be fun, it's supposed to have flavor, textures, spices, etc. So all we're going to do is cut this into quarters. We should have a quarter like this. I'm going to take the quarter, and all I'm going to do is take my thumb under and just move the seeds like this. And I take the seeds out, and I'm left with this. Do that on all of the quarters, because we do not want the seeds in this dish. The seeds don't add anything or take anything away. Keeping the skin side down, we're going to dice these. The same size as the onion, right? So we've got tomatoes and onions diced. So they're going to go into the bowl. We're going to take avocado. Our knife, we're just going to split it in half. Do not, all you do, push it in and just roll it. Twist it, and I've got avocado, right? This is the coolest thing I'm going to teach you. So most people would take a knife and do this. If you ever do that, I will find you, and you will not be happy. It's dangerous. Take a spoon. Take it out onto the board. Scoop it out. Just like this. Taking my knife, just give it a little back and forth into the bowl. Mix with your spoon the avocado, onions, and smushed around with your spoon. This is a lime. Cut the lime in half and squeeze into your avocado, tomato, and onion dish. All right, so these are eeny, meeny, and miny. They're my favorite people. Why are they my favorite people? It's called a pinch of salt. Make sure you go high. Why am I going high? Because I want to evenly distribute the seasoning. Same thing with pepper. Eeny, meeny, miny. Two most important things when we cook. Oil is number one. Seasoning is number two, salt and pepper. So, salt, pepper, oils. Three very important things. Now we're going to take our fresh herbs, right? And all I'm going to do, cut the ends off And with these, I want you to put the knife flat and push the greens against it. Push it really hard against the blade of the knife. So I've got the knife, I put it down, and I push everything towards the knife. Then I use the motion of the ocean, back and forth, keeping my fingers behind it. And I will have beautiful chopped herbs. Now here's the funny thing. Not funny, but it's kind of cool. So you can see the herbs are wet, right? You can smell them because they're fresh. Now, if I wanted to do something really cool, which I do all the time, I would take a cloth, not the paper towels, I would take a cloth. I would then open it up, I would put this in, bundle it up like this, and run it under cold water. And then squeeze all the chlorophyll is the color, out of it. And when I open this, it will be like dried herbs. All right? So, we're going to go this into a guacamole or salsa kind of thing. Then I want you to season yours with salt and pepper the way you like to season. And you can put a little bit more lime juice. You can put whatever taste you like. I'm a heavy lime guy. Okay, so then we have chicken. We have a roasted chicken. So I'm just going to take the bones off the chicken because they've been roasted on the bones, and I'm going to shred it. I'm just going to pull it apart because that's going to go into our soup. Fresh chicken. And this has just been roasted in the oven and cooled down. Salt, pepper. Okay, when you've done that, put it into your soup. I'm going to warm that all the way through, get that chicken in there. Oh, yeah. So we've got our quinoa, our kale, our broth, our chicken, our garlic. I just want you to take a spoon and just give your soup a little try. Make sure it's got enough seasoning. There's enough flavor in there. Mine needs a little salt. If you need a little salt, put a little salt. Now, we're not doing it today, but if you wanted to try and put some sriracha or some spice into it, this will be the part where you put that spice into it. Now, here's two things you can do with this, and it's kind of really up to the individual. You can actually take the salsa right on top and crumple the tortillas on top, or you can serve them on the side. Again, it's up to you how you like that. So, here we go. I am a hearty guy. I want more substance than liquid. Oh my goodness. Oh. It's one of my favorite soups of all time. So then I just do this. The mad scientist. Again, you can break that up and put it on top of the salsa in there. How was that? Was that easy? It wasn't bad, right? Try it. Try your soup, please. And make sure you get some of the avocado and not, because that's all the flavor. So that's the soup.